Hello there and welcome to the Money Zone. I'm AE and I'm here today with Sib. Hello, Sib.
Hello, AE. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you so much for suiting up. You inspired me to do so. And here we are. We're suited up for one good reason today. We're going to watch the upper bracket final. That is the first grand finalist of this epic World Championship level tournament is going to be announced today at the end of this best of five between Nagano and Isildur. Sib and I, we're going to go on a gargantuan epic odyssey of a journey. Later today, we'll also cast the winner of the two lower bracket semi-finals in a best of three to decide, who's going to survive. I'm not going to talk for too long because we've kept you guys waiting for long enough. Let's just get it on with the first game of today as we see Nagano Soviets on the south side of Crossroads.
And on the north, Isildur with the overbearing Wehrmacht.
Oh, yes, they're overbearing indeed. They have the slight win advantage so far, 54% in this tournament, but Crossroads 5VP is a spanner in the works, Sib. Now, you've had time to digest this, a lot of the players have. What are your thoughts on it as a player and analyst?
I haven't personally played on this map, but I've heard some good feedback from the players. Initially, they thought it would be a little bit too aggressive, too quick. But as it turns out, with the symmetrical landscape, it seems to work out quite well. So I'm excited to see what sort of early game pushes. That's what I'm looking out for here. What sort of early game strategies are we going to see from both of these players?
Yeah, indeed. I think that obviously one of the best tools you can have on a 5VP map is an MG42 straight away from Wehrmacht. And the reason is because you're going to have an exposed VP on your side, and the worst thing that can happen to you is get quadruple caps. Because 4 VPs versus 1, that's basically a triple cap, and it will be 1 VP per second. So having an MG Sib means you can kind of not leave it unguarded, but you can push on two sides of the map at the same time a little bit more easily. Isildur's locked in immediately Lightning War Doctrine. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, G43s have made a bit of a resurgence lately. I'm not sure, and I'm not convinced Crossroads is the map for them, but there's probably vetoes at play here as well.
Oh yeah, I've got 3 big vetoes per faction. Go and check out the brackets, exclamation mark brackets in chat, or the YouTube description will have them. Spoiler alert, obviously, you might not want to check that out right now, but indeed, yes, you can see the vetoes the players have selected for the entire tournament. Nagano's gone for 2 combat engineers, and I'll tell you guys a secret. You know the player that inspired me to suggest to White Flash we need to do something about Crossroads? It is actually Nagano Soviets that inspired me as tourney organizer to say, White Flash, Crossroads games are going 50 minutes every time. Any chance we can speed things up a little? And so it's literally him. Honestly, his Soviets on this map, 3VP variant, have such a high win rate. Because what he tends to do, Sib, is that bottom right quadrant, he will lock it down and he will get into that, 7-man conscript late game with the 2 double Zis guns, etc. And maybe this will for a spanner in his works today.
It might do, so we'll see if Nagano is going to regret asking for the changes.
No, it was me. I watched it in. It wasn't him. God's sake, you probably
I
won't
see.
want to know that it was him that inspired me. I'm not being biased, but it was just I sat through so many World Championship games. You know the big. He was in the grand finals 2 years running, wasn't he? Firstly against Love Nest, where he lost in 2019. And then last year, 2020 versus Isildur. So this is a direct repeat of the grand final from last year.
Just have more VPs.
Indeed. Nagano does have a chip on his shoulder, though. He lost both of those series, Sib.
He's got something to prove, and this is definitely the time to do it. I'm not seeing a lot of deviation from your generic strategies so far. We got 3 Grenadiers against the 3 conscripts. The double engineer opener is quite common of Soviets nowadays.
It is, yeah. I think Love Nest was a part of the popularization of that, and to be honest, it makes a lot of sense. It's all about the mines, baby. And flamethrowers.
Yeah, all about the mines. Some people opt for double flamethrowers, others opt for a minesweeper flamethrower. There's a lot of options there.
It's just the muni float that Soviets tend to have, as opposed to Wehrmacht, which are usually so muni starved due to all the upgrades they require to be, competitive with the infantry.
Now, what I want to see is, and this is something I haven't seen so far, is are we actually going to see Panzer Grenadiers with G43s?
Oh, so sexy. And we haven't seen many Panzer Grenadiers this game. I mean, the previous tournaments, last 6 months, Sib, were all about Panzer Grenadier bundle nades on retreat. That was like the squad-wide mechanic. It seems like Wehrmacht players are now relying on getting a Panzer IV out as soon as possible and just holding the line until it comes out. And that's how they tend to grind down their opponents. So yeah, it's a bit of a change there.
Yeah, it makes sense because more often than not in the early game, you struggle against the conscript hordes. You kind of rely on your MG and... Oh, we got a rifle nade.
Oh, he's very low as well. 3 Car 98Ks firing on him as he retreats, but they can't hit a barn door with a tractor, it seems.
Almost. Oh, he might actually get it on the retreat here.
Yes, he gets him. What a flank from Isildur. Nice work.
Lovely position and good awareness.
Very good. So I was just consigned to the orangey not working in his favour. He was not ready to rest on that, Sib. He had other ideas.
No, and that's the hallmark of a good player. Sometimes you don't expect that follow-up. You're like, oh, I survived the rifle grenade, but little do you know, there's a squad creeping up on your behind.
Oh, yes. Nagano, though, ever the survivor. This guy is one of the most successful players in series history, and it's for damn good reason. He's not going to just roll over with one conscript down.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt, he's about to roll over if he doesn't get some sort of AT before this 222 hits the field.
Yeah, this could be brutal. We were predicting... I mean, I asked Isildur, did you see that very long... Well, kind of long campy series, Love Nest Nagano? And he told me, don't expect it to go the same way. So, he based that on scrim knowledge. Him and Nagano have very ferocious scrims, but it kind of sounds like fighting talk, doesn't it, as well, you know?
It does. You kind of want to get in your opponent's head a little bit. So he opted to go for the conscript rebuild, which is fine. He's got the tier 2. He is floating a little bit, but the 222 is already out, so here comes the window of opportunity for Isildur.
Does indeed. He can really start to push now, using it behind his grenadiers. I'm expecting Nagano to... Well, no, I mean, does he focus on getting the T-70 out ASAP? He has the combat engineers in base. They've got support weapon. Yes, indeed. So he might not get the support, the package now, the Molotov anti-tank grenade package, because, yeah, he's probably just going to get the T-70 out.
And this is all well and good, but it does mean that the 222 is literally uncontested. It will do a lot of damage to these conscripts that he's relying on pushing a lot of these forces back.
Yeah, and let's see how this affects the VP battle. It must be said, by the way, for the hype we've given Isildur, Nagano's had the edge thus far. 150 VPs plus have dropped for Isildur.
Yeah, time ticks quick. I'm not used to this amount of VPs being drained. 7 minutes in.
It's a nice start to a best of 5, though, or even a best of 7 in the grand final. Could you imagine? It just kind of gets the players there. It's like that initial skirmish phase almost. Very exciting.
Alright, so T-70 is probably going to be queued up. There it is.
Gren drops to Soldaten then, pushed back. So Nagano's holding. I tell you what, he's about to get a quadruple cap off. So despite Isildur doing very well thus far in terms of manpower attrition, he's not actually done that well for map control.
Yeah, I noticed the G43 on one of the Isildur's Grenadiers. Again, I spoke about this, and maybe this is something unique to the 5 VP version of Crossroads, but I just don't know how they fare against such an open map. I know they have to prioritize the early game here, but I'm not convinced yet.
Combat engineers capping under duress there in the northwest. Flamethrower hunts down the grenadiers, but they back into the MG42 in the center. Conscripts are low yet again. They were caught building by the now G43 grenadiers. They get a kill on retreat, but the T-70's there to save the day.
Good recognition that you choose for sure. So here you go, here's your 8 minutes, VPs are down, it's your pretty standard Soviets Ost-tier opener, and now we're about coming up to the 50-50 map control point.
T-70 gets its first kill, forces away a grenadier in the center. Combat engineers are going to be backed up by the same light tank now. So this is all to play for. I mean, we had that early squad wipe, Sid, but 200 VPs Nagano has gotten you know, it's exciting times.
Yeah, he's definitely done a lot despite the heavy losses in the early game. Usually something like that sets you back quite far.
Don't forget, guys, the winner of this series today goes into the grand final with a massive advantage. They get to pick all of the maps in the best of 7 grand final for $2,000 for the winner. So this is pretty hype. I mean, if maps are, you know, really determining factors and players are more comfortable on some maps other than others, there's so much to play for today. They can't just pick Stalingrad, though, Sim. You know, or like Moscow outskirts or something.
Of Stalingrad.
Back 40s.
With 7 VPs.
Stalingrad 7 VPs. Let's go. Indeed. Well, that 2 VP map from back in the day. Could pick that, maybe.
Oh god, why did you have to remind me? The game that never ends.
Some people are still playing on that map to this day. The
Yeah.
Relic servers couldn't boot them. They're still going.
Maintenance happened and they're still playing.
So the T-70's been nullified thanks to the presence of the pack and just the Faust in general. In the centre, combat engineers go for the cap again, but Isildur is now stabilising in a big way. He's gotten more victory points, but importantly, his fighting force seems a little bit more potent. Maybe the guards can help Nagano keep his foothold.
This is definitely a good composition from Nagano. I definitely like the dispersion of the flamethrower and the minesweeper alongside the addition of the guards here. And I think the guards are kind of the sleeper unit here against the G43s because they'll be able to do a lot of damage at long range.
Certainly will. He's gotten suppressed though here, so he won't be able to get into the picture. Gren's just spotting in the meantime on the east side for Isildur. But you'll notice if we go over to tap map, guys, look at the spread of the armies. There's always squads, in this case on the west in the centre. It's not always just consolidated to you know, one area of the map, the action at least.
No, they've been kind of shifting from left to right to the middle.
Oh, T-70 low. Very low. Can he track? He's trying to. Gonna get out of there, be fine.
Here comes an aggressive MG push.
Very aggressive. Bloody hell. He's got Gren back up as well, so Isildur's going for this. He's really applying the pressure now. And by the way, big shout out to the 222. 12 kills. That happened so quickly. I didn't even see it happen.
That's what happens when you leave it uncontested. And look at the T-70. Yeah, it's been on the field for a while, but only 4 kills.
We go over to the graphs very quickly because we can't look away for too long. Just look at the army value. Isildur's pulled ahead, yes, and now it's starting to affect the points held. So manpower wins games, as always. The conscripts just gave the line, the Germans rely too much on machine guns as they cower in a garrison. Basically base locked. Yeah, it's good criticism, mate. It's
Effectively, yeah. The double MG, the 4 grenadiers. It's about as much of a lock-in composition as it really gets. Nagano's gonna have his work cut out for him.
And this is Isildur in a nutshell for the past year. He tends to look vulnerable in the first 5 minutes, but he's actually building his composition. And when his composition's ready, he goes in for the kill. Nice guards grenade, well dodged there. One soldaten down. And the VP pressure's now flipped. And it's on Nagano.
Tier 3 is available for Isildur. He just needs to get the tech up. I will imagine the Panzer IV is definitely his unit of choice here.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It always is, seemingly. You know, I'd be a fan of an Ostwind. I saw DevM go for Ostwinds on your stream last week. 2 weeks ago, rather. Very exciting.
Yeah, and I think the Ostwind is one of the units that actually perform extremely well against Soviets.
Oh, T-70 down! Through the hedgerow! Well spotted there by Isildur. That was fantastic, catching everybody off guard. Another unit down for Nagano.
Alright, that just alleviated a hell ton of pressure from Isildur. So he's got time, and he's getting that tier 3 with the 222 safely tucked away in the base.
This game is his to lose right now. All Nagano can do is hang on for dear life and hope Isildur messes up, because his composition is not ready for an assault, and Isildur's going to be in control for the foreseeable future.
Absolutely, the G43s are singing, and they are absolutely everywhere.
They're whistling right now. Constant trails of bullets firing. We could see a quintuple cap coming in, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's 5 VP ticks per 3 seconds. So just work that out. That's just ridiculous. It's like 1.6 per second or something stupid.
As you were saying, I was hearing one of the groaning dead grenadiers moan.
Oh, they're awful, aren't they? Some of the voice files.
Oh.
Could you imagine 2012? Right, guys, so we've got you in for some voice acting today. Can you do a death rattle and gurgle? Sorry?
Yeah. But I was here to say some lines.
Maybe they tortured them to death in Vancouver. I don't know. Maybe there's some basements underneath Relic headquarters, Sim, where they recorded all this. Just think about it. That could be really dark. Zis barrage to the rescue for the Soviets, as always. Can it rescue? No, it's overshooting.
So this is good. I know Nagano's feeling the pressure. He's like, the Panzer IV is about to hit. Unfortunately for him, he just doesn't have enough to really stand up to Isildur's composition here.
No, he doesn't. I mean, it was said in chat by a few people, it's crazy that at this level that an early squad wipe is so important, but it just is. You know, that flank by Isildur, if he doesn't make any mistakes and has some horrendous RNG going against him, for example, he should be able to use that as a platform, and that's what we've seen happen. The Panzer IV now is going to use that platform to erect a statue in honor of the Brits right in Nagano's base.
That's right, momentum is king, and when you have momentum, if you don't make mistakes, you keep on riding that wave.
Exactly, yeah. Riding the waves is good. Another good analogy for it, really. All the best players tend to do that. Isildur's a little bit weird, though. He's got a crooked rhythm. He doesn't just go crazy from the get-go, like 3 rifles, nades into M20 Stuart kind of thing. He's a little bit slower at the start, so he's not like Devem or Kimbo, perhaps, or maybe even PFC recently, who are all out relentless. Isildur kind of lulls you into a false sense of security and then smothers you.
Just like this Panzer IV that rubber bands its way onto the field.
Ah! Rifle nade. Nagano hears it, gets out of the way. It's common tactic to keep the flamethrower behind the hedgerow. And
he's dangerously low. Look at this combat engineer. Oh, okay, you got out. And this is the part where I think he's kind of regretting getting that tier 4 up. He saw the P4 and went, ah, crap.
Yeah.
Now he instantly queued the seconds is.
He's going to have to. And if this was 3 VP Crossroads, he'd have a chance to grind out the game with 3 Zis guns. But you get punished on this particular variant of the map. You really do.
Especially with the G43s. They're so good on the move. They actually sacrifice a lot of the firepower just for that mobility.
The bale of hay saved the conscript's life there as the Panzer IV dawned upon them. Pioneers looking low in the east. There's action all over the place. Zisgun's being hunted down. And here we go. It's going to be a quintuple cap, and that'll be game. Oh no, he gets out of there. Just leaves it on a quadruple. 4 VP ticks per 3 seconds. That's 1.25, isn't it? No, 1 and a third.
So there's game to lose for sure. He just needs to keep plucking away at the manpower of Nagano here.
Must be said though, Nagano's still on 320 victory points. He's got a little bit of time with which to work. Needs to get these 2 Zisguns operational, but with only 2 conscripts and a guard squad, yes, he does have flamethrower veterancy 3 as well, but oh, nice take out of the 222 at least. There you go. That's something that he needed. Guards need to survive, however.
It's a good pickup, but is it enough? The Panzer IV's kind of being indecisive for the time being.
He there used a rifle nade on the squad that was farthest away from him. Just a little trick there, I guess.
The little trick of guess which squad I'm rifle nading.
Oh god. Like bullying your younger sibling. Which hand am I going to hit you with? This hand? This hand? No, it's this hand! Haha! Sorry.
And as you're going for the slap, you switch hands.
Exactly. Have we both got younger siblings? Tortured, sounds like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Gren's hunting down the Zisgun on the west. It is a a quintuple cap. That's going to tick down rapidly. Just watch, count 3 seconds and see it drop by 5 every time for Nagano. From 248 to 243 next. There it drops.
Who needs assault grenadiers when you have pioneers just charging at Zizguns?
Oh my. Zizguns just about survives, however. Guard squad are getting brutalized by the Panzer IV. They have to back out of there.
This is not the position he wants to be in with these guards.
And the conscripts on the east have to a hard retreat path through all of this now. They're going to get focus fired? No, he's going to come through on the gods.
So they actually rifle naded the S-mines with the minesweeper.
Oh, did he?
Combat engineer on there.
Oh my god.
It was like, you might have a sweeper work and still detonate these things.
Nagano's a ferocious competitor, though. He will not back down. He suffered too much trauma at the hands of Isolde in that grand final from November 2020.
Yeah.
Disgun capping, desperately so.
Not really much to say. I think there was a tech issue and a bit of loss of momentum with the wipe here. So Nagano is just, quite frankly, outplayed and doesn't have the composition to really stand up.
No, if you're going to go conscripts and you're going to lose a conscripts like that, you possibly need to think about a... Sounds crazy, but a Dushka would be good. Not with this commander, obviously, but even a Maxim. Just something to give you a little bit more staying power, let's say.
You would want to be at least equal to the number of grenadiers, if not one up. So back in the day, 5 conscripts used to be the go-to.
Okay.
And 4 grenadiers were the norm. So this is almost a resurgence back to olden times with a slight twist.
I like it. Panzer IV pushing east side. All grenadiers have a heavy veterancy now as well. In fact, there's been a lot of veterancy all around. West. Then side, we've got Grenz and MG42 capping, keeping that base exit under lockdown.
I honestly think Isoda can just move whichever side he wants to with these grenadiers and MGs.
Yeah, seemingly so. He's got the combat engineer in the house for vision right now, using the guards to push away the Grenz, but the MG's rat-a-tarring away.
Infantry rested and ready to advance rapidly.
I tell you what, a lot of these rifle nades have hit flush in the face with only just doing health damage, and Nagano's been rather lucky in that respect.
Yeah, he's in green cover, but I know what you mean. It's a bit hit and miss sometimes.
Very, yeah, true. Again, soon, possibly a quintuple cap. We've just had a nice shot by the Panzer IV, up to 9 kills now. Guards capping for their very lives. 78 victory points remain. Nagano could go 1-0 down in this best of 5.
Yeah, this looked like a last-ditch attempt to try and get a T-34-85, but with the number of VPs, I just don't see this happening.
He's done well to get it to 22 minutes with the absolute... Oh, God, so low there. G43 Grenz. Can't get the final killing touch. 58 victory points ticking down rapidly. T-34 needs to save the day.
Oh, absolute devastation on the combat engineers. Just got blasted in the face by that P4.
He's got 14 kills now as a Panzerwerfer is out for swag points for Isilda.
Isilda clearly playing for the late game here. The late game of 40 VPs.
Will he get a shot off, though? That's the bigger question. He's got 5 victory points right now. S-mines are going off on the double conscript squad. Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
I'm loving the S-mine usage. Very, very smart.
We are close to victory. Press on.
And if you notice...
He's going to Panzerwerfer it. Look at this. Oh, my God. Oh, but the T-34 might go for a moral assault on the Panzerwerfer. Or will he taste defeat before he's able to? Indeed, he drops from the game with 3 victory points remaining. 1-0 to Isilda.
Good game.
And we're back. There we go. That was a nice little warm-up, as Sib calls it. I think he's right there.
And I think it showed. Nagano's... I think the big mistake there was tier 4. I know you don't want to be in that uncomfortable position where you've lost the squad. You kind of have to be on the defensive, but SU-76 is an option. He doesn't need to go for the double Ziz. It's not as vulnerable to the 4 Grenadier opener. So I think he had options, but maybe he just... I don't know. He went, this is my build, and nothing that you do will make me change it.
Oh, if you look at the army value graphs on this screen right here, you can just see Isildur's dominance, really. See the moment of the squad wipe as well, around the 6-minute mark. Nagano really... He did well to stay in the game, but what Isildur tends to do, as I've said it before, he waits till around 10 minutes, or around 15 minutes sometimes, and then just pulls the trigger. And he just has a huge spike in APM, and he just overwhelms you. On the personal overview, you can see Nagano's conscripts took a beating. Isildur with the Grenadiers, 8k damage in 22 minutes, not too bad. And then there's the overview, 152 kills to 85, which is pretty typical, actually, to be fair.
It was a good attempt. Nagano did well to hang on despite the absolute battering he was about to receive after losing his army.
You could have stuck a Brazos logo in the corner of the screen. And
yeah, it was a little bit one-sided after a little while, but I'm hoping he takes that game, takes it to heart, and comes back with a bit more of a refined take now that he knows. Maybe he didn't know that Isildur would go for 4 Grenadiers. I do not know, but we'll see.
I've invited you to a lobby. Let's get into game 2.
Let's do it.
With no need for a delay. We can just get straight into this. We're cooking on gas today. Got a big odyssey ahead of us. Isildur, we got Devem's game, Loveness game, Isildur's game. You know it's a big tournament when they're your options in the Observer lobby. It's crazy stuff. Got some good casters elsewhere, of course. We got what's his name? Grey Shot and the Angry Dutchman holding the fort on those other 2 lower bracket series, and we get to pluck the cherry from the cake at the end with the winners of those 2 series going up against each other. I've got some news on Ed Vector. Ed and we are taking advantage of the lowering of COVID restrictions. Ed's getting a train up to Stoke. He's going to cast live with me. We will probably do a lateral flow test just to be safe. But yeah, we're going to do the grand finals live from Cosa LAE, which would be quite good.
In the hot tub, of course.
Yeah, indeed.
Hot tub or riot.
Right, let's get it on, dudes. Let's go. Here we go, the reigning world champion Isildur, looking for his big title from 2021, is locking in Lend-Lease tactics. Sib, what do we want to see from Nagano this game?
I want to see some MGs. I want to see some Grenadiers. I really, really want to see some Panzer Grenadiers, but Nagano's definitely not going to do that for us.
He's going to use his money to pay for Lightning War Doctrine, this premium item. And he's going to lock it in, so he's going to go for it. But Isildur's got something in the bag here that I like, Sib. Can you guess what it is based on what I wanted to see in that previous game?
Looking at the army loadouts and the commanders, I would say it is... Oh, I got it. The conscript repair kit.
That's
Absolutely.
it, my friend. When he gets that Sherman late game, he won't just have to repair it with the combat engineers. He's going to have blowtorches left, right, and centre. It's going to be blowtorch crazy. It's going to be like a rave in a tent with naked flames. Very dangerous, so he needs to watch out for that. No, indeed, guys. It is, of course, the Dushka. He's going to Dushka away, and he's going to make Nagano pay. That's the Isildur's premise, at least. Let's see if Nagano can brutalise him before he has to face the that huge caliber round. What? Somebody in chat tell me how big a Dushka bullet is. I think it's like a Pringles tube or something. It's massive.
As large as the floaty of the banana in your hot tub.
There we go.
We've already got some cute little back and forth action. They're still hiding behind the little shop blocker.
There we go. Para I knew it was bigger than a 50 cal. It's a tiny bit bigger than a 50 cal. So there we go. We'll say 52 cal. MG sets up on the west side. Got Grens in support. Pioneers have kept conscripts busy. Eastern side. The combat engineers have managed to block themselves in. I did not know this was possible. But apparently it is. There you go.
It's okay. This is a handicap from Isilda. He knows he's one game up and he needs to let Nagano have a little respite.
I'm going to make this into a cinematic just because I think it's more hype than anything else that might be happening. Look at them clip. You can hear it. Clip. Clip. High level play from the Master League.
Oh man, after such intricate early game engagements, we have that.
Just that little sound effect is so cute. Conscripts into the central garrison.
Now, that's not inconsequential. He has had to prioritize minesweepers just to get those engineers, which delays the flamethrower. So bear that in mind going forward.
Big time, yeah. Of course, the flamethrower backed up by merging conscripts is meta for Soviets. And Isilda's going to be delayed on that now.
He's opted for an early mine as well.
I'm sure that'll go off. It'll be 60 manpower in the bag. 2 grenadiers dead, most likely. We could trade in it 30 muni if it's for 60 manpower.
Just so not used to seeing the VPs so right in the middle of everything.
Oh, I know. These two in particular are very close together. I think with chance for refinements. But what happened was we paid for a few players to play, like Orange Pest, and a couple of others played as well. Then no other players gave any feedback on this before the tournament. So as soon as they had to play it, of course, there was so much feedback. Like, there was no practice done and no... But yeah, I think it's alright. It's been alright. It should need some tweaking if we use it in the future for certain. Big news though, the next Master League tournament will be entirely on custom maps, like new ones, entirely new maps. So yeah, we're just going to disregard all the work we've done. Anyway, we've got the grenade package for Isilda. He's in preparation for the 2-2-2 before it even happens. Light mechanized isn't even completed. Maybe we'll see a molly.
Yeah, noted from Isilda. Nagano has access to his own. I'd be expecting a 2-2-2 as soon as he reaches 20 fuel.
East side, we do have a minesweeper pioneer there. We have a second MG in the build, of course. Victory point wise, Isilda's dropped to 460, but you know it's not much at all.
I kind of like the MG over the 2-2-2 here. It comes a little bit earlier. You're not wasting the time. You already have the manpower, and like you said, MGs are king on this map, or you could just plunk them on the VPs and off you go.
MG makes it to the house, but he's got the narrow window against the conscripts here. Molotov in as well. A lot of health damage being done. Prioritizes the grenadier, also low health. This was a big win for Isilda in terms of time, health, and manpower. He's just going to use that.
Fortunately for him, the MG does get back with its entire squad intact.
2-2 on its way. It must be said, by the way, on the eastern side, that Pioneer swept the mine, and the Grens are also capping, so it's looking pretty fine now for Nagano. Much better in this game.
Much better. A bit shaky. Tier 3 is going up, but so far pretty standard and on point.
We're, of course, missing players like aecohmatt this tournament. Those guys that went OKW. Been a sore lack of OKW this tournament. Sid, what do you think those guys are missing?
I really don't know. I have seen a lot of Soviets and Ost here. I think they just tend to be the strongest factions right now. They offer the most flexibility and the most variety in build orders.
We see a rifle nade on retreat here, perhaps. No, he's not going to go for it. He's happy with the vanilla DPS of him and the 2-2-2 wailing on that conscript. Let's go over to the tap map and see multiple capping from Nagano from the north. He's really pretty much doing what Isilda did to him.
Yeah, Isilda's build is a little bit cleaner. Ziz is coming out as the tier 3 finishes whilst he waits for the fuel for a T70.
Tightrope in chat, who of course commentated on the second day of Master League action, says he feels like Nagano had poor early map control despite the wiring, so he'd expect a little bit more from the Russian. But that might be because, as I say, he's got those demons on his shoulder. He lost that World Championship, and he lost Game 1 of today, so he's been a little bit pensive, but he's slow and steady, and he is starting to take control.
And I think you can attribute part of that simply because he didn't opt for that 4th grenadier like Isolde did in the previous game.
Domination coming in. We do now have the Zisgun as well. G43 Grenadiers against the combat engineers there. Trying to attack round through the hedge, catch the 222 off guard.
I must be missing something here because G43s are upgraded once again. This is a notoriously LMG favored map, I think.
To be honest, I think it was something the players noticed last day of Master League action 2 weeks ago. The G43 games were so much more successful. I don't know if it's the mobility they offer. It could be, I don't know what it is, but they just found that between them, these top 6 players, in their scrims and in their conversations, they found that the G43s are really just work out better for them. I don't know what it is.
They really lack in a scaling element, and especially once they get to late game, when they're up against guards, DPs, they really struggle. But I guess on a map like this, where basically more than half of the game will be dictated by the first 8-10 minutes, it kind of makes sense.
Could be that they're not worried about the late game power creep. They just want that middle game dominance. They want to get the Panzer IV out, the double MGs firing, and the G43s being the mobile attack force, like on the flanks, you know, and in support. You can support everything a little bit better if you're mobile, so it could just be that.
Ghana's returning the favor, and quite swiftly. So this T70 has a lot of territory to grasp.
This is a good win for Nagano, though, so far, because he's proven that it's just the delicate balance of factions and maps at this rate. That's how chat will be seeing it. I know that's for certain. We can try and sell it as the players playing, but most people will just be seeing the same commander, the same faction on the same map in a similar position. Let's see if Isolde can show us how it's done from a defensive standpoint.
Almost got the wipe. I didn't see a lot of stutter stepping on the T70. That definitely didn't help him there.
Stutter stepping? I've never heard that expression. I know exactly what it means, so that's going in the bank there, Sib. I like it.
Yep, it's a pretty well coined term, stutter step, to stop and move, allowing for that brief moment of firing at full accuracy.
I love it. There we go, we've got Pack out now, too, of course. And there we go, we've got the Dushka. This is all important, Sib. Dushka hype. Just think about this Dushka. This is the reason Isolde will win this game. It will crown a mega mind.
I'm just waiting for this Dushka to cover 3 VPs with a range of the entire map.
Look, it's going to go into orbit. Oh, what a shot by the T-70 at max range there. Grenadier down. Thought he escaped for certain, but the T-70 had other ideas. I think the Dushka inspired him there. It really did inspire him.
As we were giggling about the Dushka, I started thinking of Pinocchio and his ever-expanding nose, and that's what I imagined the Dushka would be.
Oh, wow. Okay. I imagined it going into suborbital satellite mode for some reason. That's where my brain went with it. You know, just like the iron cannon from Nice Shot by the Sis. Yeah.
Almost.
MG pushes up. Sis barrage in. Second MG in a little bit of bother there. The victorious T-70 on 5 kills. Going betwixt 2 objects.
Alright, this is the Austin game. I'm calling it.
Ostwind game. Oh, there you go. You can't spell it without win in the title. But with 3 additional victory points in Nagano's favour, Isolde has to... you know, offer a bit more defense to even get to the position where an Ostwind can win.
It will come quicker than the Panzer IV. It will not be too long before Isolde starts basically pushing himself back onto the map. So Nagano's window of opportunity here is kind of rapidly diminishing until he gets tier 3 up.
T-70's got his first bit of veterancy now. Could even do a little bit of capping if he wanted to. Not going to do so though. She's going to rescue the southwestern victory point.
We fight bravely for the
All right, Nagano, I see you building a support corps. Make me proud.
There we go. Could have ample proof that these casters have watched the game before. We have both a Dushka and an Ostwind Sib. Our egos will be through the roof, mate. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, we'll just call the series here after that.
There we go. We've got an MG off in the east, which is an East European delicacy consisting of bullets and.
I'm still
death.
waiting for this orbital left off of the Dishka.
Could happen, mate. Could happen. I've seen stranger things. Genuinely, I've seen stranger things in Company of Heroes. As the pack tries to find the T-70, 222 spotting for him. Good pressure by the Grenadiers of Nagano here, trying to keep that victory point neutral. Rifle nade dodged by the conscripts, jumping in and out. But they're getting G43s in the face at the moment.
A lot of back and forth, lots of good cover utilization from both players here.
What a shot, though, by the Zis gun! He tracked him, he reloaded at the last possible second, got the kill. Isildur there with a statement shot.
Nagano. That Austin's looking very mighty now.
The theoretical Ostwind, I love it. We're doubling down so much, Sib. We might as well cast this Panzer IV as an Ostwind.
It doesn't matter. This Panzer IV is about to be cancelled. Just you wait. This is all mind games.
Zis guns on anti-infantry mode right now, just absolutely annihilating the MG that dares get into this garrison. How foolish of it. Could actually die. Bit of flame crits. No, just gets out of there.
Very lucky for Nagano there. Oh, T-70 almost takes a Faust here.
Second Dushka's now out.
Now I like this. I really, really like this. Isildur already has the two Ziz guns, and what better way to consolidate your composition? Get a second Dushka.
It's going to be double Dushkin.
We have a new Panzer IV.
Panzer IV's out though, so Nagano could get some cheeky wipes here. He could start to push around that. He does have a pack. 2 MG42s and 3 Grenadiers, don't forget. So his composition is veritably sound right now.
Interesting, Nagano went straight for tier 4 tech after getting this Panzer IV, potentially thinking he might have to opt for that Werfer against the Ziz.
Really though, it's like he's mirroring Isildur's build here. You know, is he ditto or something? It's just good shots from the Zis there. Panzer IV's going to have a little bit of a rude awakening. It's only a Veterancy 1 Pioneer as well, so he'll be a little bit out of combat for a while now.
MG42 turret is ready.
And there's 3 victory points for Isildur in his favour. He's got 1 advantage.
Despite the low count of VPs, Isildur is doing it. Slowly but surely.
Certainly is. We've got the recon mode on the T-70 there. Let's show off what he can see with a quick UI cancel reverse. Couldn't do it in time. Thanks, Relic. But I tried. Anyway, G43's getting fired at through the hedgerow by that same T-70.
So
Shots.
it's interesting. Nagano had momentum, right? He had early map control. He had that Panzer IV. Isildur kind of prepared with the double Ziz, but we're at a stage where that Panzer IV is basically doing nothing.
Good angle from the Dush, but still green cover in the way. Yeah, the repair times as well. It's why he's having to build a second Pioneer. He was not happy with that repair time at all.
The squad of pioneers has arrived.
And dare I say it, did he make a mistake going for tier 4 again?
Don't know why he did that.
If he, well, I guess it was a good reaction. You need the repairs, but at the same time, why sink resources into something? Okay, he's getting the tier 4 up at least.
Yeah, he's doing it. Doesn't it give benefits for Grenadier
It does.
reinforcements? Down
I
to
believe
28,
it's-
is it?
Yeah, it's a very minor manpower reduction. Uh-oh, this Panzer IV.
Are the Ziskons anywhere? The shark smelling blood? No, they're relatively far away.
Yeah, it should make itself back quite
That's
safely.
just another impediment to the Panzer IV's you know, dominance. It's not had a foothold in this game at all. Yeah, it's 28, so tiny manpower help there.
Supply are disrupted.
It does add up, of course, if you think about all the casualties you sustain through the duration of the whole game.
Nagano's just got the 2 victory points. He did get Isildur down to 118 with that early austere dominance that's so prominent in top level play at the moment. But
this is not the amount of pressure you'd be wanted to see from a Panzer IV. I know Nagano's now trying to work the flanks, which is a good idea, but so does his mine those pretty extensively.
Panzer IV's back now. He's going straight over the same mine spot, looking for an angle. Look at the amount of mines from Isildur, as Sib rightfully mentions.
Looks like we have a two-front battle. One on the left and a bit of in the middle.
Smatterings of skirmishes all over the place. A lot of green cover laid for Isildur, really giving him staying power at the moment. Until the sandbag was deleted, finally by the pack gun, then he was forced away.
Looks like Isildur's not really making many moves. Constantly reacting, maybe hoping for Nagano to make that overcommitment.
Panzer IV watching on in the east as Pioneers are ready to cap. Grenadiers trying to hold in the centre, but the Dushka's got so much health damage, even against garrisons. It does add up. T-70 goes to the west side. Got to watch out for that pack. That thing's up to 11 kills now. Just waiting for the next tank, possibly. Where's it going to come, Sib? Who's going to be the next one to get something on the field?
It's definitely going to be Isildur, if we don't count a Werfer from Nagano now.
Just so you
There we
say
go.
it, bro. There you go. Nagano's not copied. I don't want to say that in case it's something they do in scrims, but in terms of this series, he's basically gone. He's mirrored Isildur's build order. He's literally done it, hasn't he?
He really has, yeah. Aside from the one Grenadier, this is basically a copycat.
Of course, 2 Pioneers with the Minesweepers, though, going to keep this Panzer IV. It's going to have so much mechanical repair time. It's like that famous fact about Tiger tanks from the Second World War. Apparently, they spent like 95% of their time either in transit or under repairs. Something like that. It was something stupid, you know. And in this case, this Panzer IV is like a mini Tiger tank. Just been repaired all game.
And then the 5% they spent in the Fury movie.
Yes.
Shooting their Shermans.
Oh, I know a funny anecdote from the one of the guys inside that tank. I met him in the movie, at least. He's just an old British guy. The tank museum at Bovington, they insisted on having their own guys in their tank because it's their prized possession, right? And the guy was like 70 or 80. So this Hollywood director was like, yeah, if you could just crank it to the left, then to the right, and then do a full 180, like. And I'll tell you the rest in a second as the Panzer IV goes into the centre. Conscripts are holding firm. We've got double Zisses backing him up, though. One of them ricochets against the garrison as he's going to have to back out of there. Oh, nice Minesweeper. Will the Panzerwerfer save the day? Zisses parts ways. And what a reaction by Isildur. All those top level 2 versus 2 games he'd played in the past came to his rescue there. He heard Verf and he got on out of there.
I'm not sure I should mention what I saw, but we'll carry on for the time being.
Go on, Sib. You say it, mate.
Because Nagano was doing a bit of tree hedging with that Werfer. And
Oh, did he clip it like Von Ivan? Yeah.
At least 25% of those rockets destroyed the trees.
Famously, as we all know, Von Ivan struck those same trees with his Stukazafus 4 times in a single series. Just to finish off my anecdote, so this Hollywood director was telling this old 70-year-old dude who was operating the turret of the Tiger to swing left, right, etc. And he said, let me just stop you there. This thing doesn't have pneumatics, it's a hand crank. So this old guy had to do all of this with a hand crank, and then they sped up the footage. He said he nearly died trying to, like, hand crank the fucking turret of the Tiger tank. You know, a 100 years old vehicle, like 80-year-old vehicle. So yeah, there's the funny anecdote. Anyway, we've got Isildur who's doing really well now. He's got this T-70 Sherman combo, 76 mils of Fury. Kappa is doing really good job of controlling the action. He's even been able to take a cut-off, Sib.
Yeah, the damage just hasn't been there. The harassment hasn't been there. Somehow, despite the tech advantage in the form of the Panzer IV, Nagano has really struggled thanks to these doubles is.
Conscripts going west side. It's Silda.
Taking our territory.
As Sib rightfully mentioned, it's all about that double Dushka. It's giving him all kinds of troubles. I'll just replace the word Zis with Dushka, you see. That's what I've done there.
I mean, double Dushka, double Ziz, double engineer.
It's like a Noah's Ark of the Soviet, you know, the communist socialist republics or whatever the fuck it's called. Sorry for swearing on my live tournament elite esports broadcast. Dear, it happens. Sib, you're allowed one swear now in the next 4 hours. I've broken my curfew. You might need to make it count though, hopefully.
Okay, so what happens when you swear again? Do we just erupt? Meltdown?
Possibly, yeah. We lose all of our sponsors at that point. Like, we just get the chain pulled on us by Nvidia, Alienware.
You're gonna have to pneumatically crank that Tiger turret.
Indeed, as the conscripts push in from the western side, Nagano's got a really hold here, but he's out positioned. Can the Panzerwerfer save the day? Is it, though? It hits the Dushka, pins it. Just excellent dodging by those Zis guns, I tell you. Pioneers in peril. Can the Sherman finish them off? No, it misses.
It was poised to be a very good Werfer. That is what I meant.
But you're right, it was a good Werfer. I tell you what was better though, is Silda's dodging. This guy's a former 2v2 like world champion himself, just like Nagano is. And you get so much practice versus rocket artillery in that game mode. But here's Goering's finest, the Stukas from the skies above. First pass misses, doesn't do anything, can't find a target. Needs to acquisition it. T-70's gonna be in serious bother. Here it comes, can he get away? Just about evades there.
I don't know if it was a good thing that they targeted the T-70 as opposed to the M4C.
Here's the Stalin organ. Go on, Sib, what are you saying?
It gave Nagano the breathing room he needed to kind of get the positional advantage here.
Don't forget, he's got really good victory point count. He's kind of really focused on the victory points. He's had every right to. Katusha's ready and waiting for a huge salvo. Nagano could be walking into a trap here.
This is exactly when Nagano wants his Silda with that Werfer, getting those units clumped up. It's almost off cooldown.
Yeah, we could be seeing double rocket artillery salvos. Here's the Katusha. That's coming down on the support weapons in the center. Good choice there. Is the Sherman ready? No, that's still being repaired. No, there's the Pat 40 down. Can he push the advantage now, Sib?
That's such a good Katusha with the doubles as the pack is the crew that opens up the M4C to do whatever it needs to do to make sure Isilda keeps these 73 VPs in check.
He's taking out the pack gun as well with the Zisses. He's now pushing up against, the Panzer IV, but there's a second Pat 40 waiting for him. Sherman's hit there, and again.
I can sense the frustration in Nagano. He wants to give chase. He knows that Sherman's damaged, but there's doubles is.
Got incendiary fire from the MG as the Panzer IV comes to protect. Nagano is continuing the victory point assault despite being down on material, perhaps.
Just crazy.
It's poised on a knife set. This is a bloody good game. This is much better than game one in terms of action and to and throw it. This could happen either way right now. We could see a stunning hold from Isilda, or Nagano could finish this off, but it's going to be a struggle either way.
He was trying to go for the cap there, but the T-70 will deny that quite quickly. There's still so many mines from Isilda. I'm a little bit worried. One of these Werfers will detonate a lot of them, and then there'll be a vehicle underneath one of them.
Possibly, and we could have the Stukas yet again. They're refueled and ready to go.
What is stopping Nagano from... Oh, Katusha.
What a beautiful Katusha volley again, this time on the Veterancy 2, Pat 40. Nagano struggling to get out of there, just about keeping the Veterancy alive. Oh, and a double Zis volley as well. Into the retreat path, possibly, of the Grens he wants it to be. But they're not biting. They're not taking the bait there, and he just wastes the munitions. Zis is... T70's going in on the platform. He gets rid of the veterancy. Now has 2 Grenadiers, really low health. Will he pull the trigger here? He has 1 in his sights. But the Stukas coming down to Sib. Oh, my. Pax recrued.
A desperate JU-87, but...
Misses!
I think that was Nagano's real chance to push, and he really didn't want to use that defensively.
Oh my god, he's just tried to get an 18A double Zis combo off, but he mistimed it. Panzer IV should escape. He misses the attack round. Got Duska trying to cap in the centre, but he can't do so. He's got 1 VP ticking down, 22 and dropping. Needs to get rid of the MG42, just about does so, but the Duska's still pinned. Cannot cap.
I'm watching this Panzer IV just sit in front of the Ziskas.
Yeah, now he spots it with the Dushka, so he realises he could have been attacking it all this time. That could be vital.
Utilization of the T70 by Isildur. He's always been on the move and on the prowl. It might go down here, though.
Yes, it can. He's got another Zis is ready. And bounces off the frontal armour. That Panzer IV's a lucky boy right now. Verfin on the west side against that Dushka. Going to take him out most likely. He's going to pin him if he can't. And the Ziskun's firing on the Panzer. Sorry, the MG42. We do have a Panther in the build as well, so this game's got legs. It really has. We've got a T70 capping in the centre. Got sweet 18 victory points remaining for Isildur. Nagano has a mountain to stand on at 325.
I don't know how I feel about the Panther. I think it's a slight mistake. I understand he wants some more mobile AT, but his real issue is the Dishkas, the conscripts. The Panzer IVs can tangle with the M4Cs, but I'm worried about these double Zs, Matt.
Do you know what led... This is a butterfly effect, mate. Do you know what led to the Panther? I agree, by the way. What led to the Panther is not dodging the rocket artillery with his Pack 40s. He's eaten those salvos. He's been really late to move them. And that lack of speed has now meant that he needs mobile AT because the Packs don't have veterancy anymore. There's only one of them, for God's sake. If it wasn't for that, he could have gotten a Brumbear, he could have got a second Panzer IV. So it's all in the micro, it's all in the skill, it's all in the quickness of the players. I'm not slagging Nagano off, I'm just saying, in this game, he might not have needed the Panther if he'd kept the bloody Packs alive. Oh, here we go, comes in the centre, proving us all wrong. T70 backs into the garrison, gets taken out. Meanwhile, Panzer IV backs out of there in the face of this gun's got a 2-man Grenadier capping. Very importantly, all the conscripts are in the centre as the combat engineers go forth.
All we need is one good whiff, and then Nagano's back in business, but until then...
Tries it on the Ziskuns, but Isildur very quick to dodge. However, he still gets punished as the hedgerow is obliterated. One of the Ziskuns goes down.
There's just no infantry for Nagano at this point.
You can say that again as the Grens are terminated by the conscript Sherman combo. What a game by Izzy here.
Alright, Nagano, it's time to pop relief infantry. Get the Ostrip rolling.
Ostrip OP's got 263 victory points. He's rebuilding a Grenadier. That'll be second on the field. He's still got 2 MGs. He's got some good tanks, but he's got veterancy 2 Pyos as well, Sib, so that's helpful.
Absolutely, the repairs are a boon and a blessing right now, but this is a real heartbreaker. 18 VPs, Nagano can taste it. He's almost right there, and had he not used that Stuka defensively, I reckon he would have bled Isildur down here.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's harsh, by the way, some of my commentary on Nagano to judge him. I think Isildur's rocket artillery dodges were out of this world, so maybe it's more Izzy did something a little bit sharper, that's all it is. Panther comes through the centre, he's repaired now. MGs get eaten alive by the Katusha there. Absolutely eaten alive, loses the veterancy. Grens think about it, but the Katusha's not finished singing.
Yes, Katusha has been absolutely deadly. Every single time it barrages, something just gets decrewed.
There he goes. Just about gets a smattering of fire off, does this Dushka. The Silder sees it really quickly. He hears it, maybe. And the Grenz, he's on it. He's got mines to defend him as well.
And he's placing the Dushka right next to some mines, so if he dives for it...
Oh, double Zis and Sherman combo. This Panther could be in real trouble here, as could the Grenz. Nagano's got a terrible retreat path there. He's going to get obliterated by everything in front of him. Oh dear, oh dear.
I have nothing to say. There's no infantry left. He needs to make something happen with the Swerfer, otherwise he's just going to get pinned in.
He certainly is. On 18 victory points, Isildur seems to be ready to hold now. Panther and Panzer IV do have a good amount of health at the moment, but the Shermans and Zisguns will soon see to that. Here they come, racing in with AT support, but they're just enough to back away, it seems.
Even if he manages to push all of these defensive weapons off, what infantry does he really have to start capping against the conscripts?
Nothing, and the double Dushkas and the Katyusha's ready to fire again. Oh no, let's just watch this in cinematic mode. It's a beautiful implement of warfare and destruction. He won't fire now, of course, so I'll just leave that alone. I know my my luck and how it works. MG42 pushed away there. Dushka's on the gates of hell there. I thought we had a GG, but it was just a momentary game stutter. But that's what I'm expecting right now. It's not looking good for Nagano. 183 is ticking down very quickly. And we are about to have a quintuple cap come down.
I tell you, had the Austin come out, You
know, I don't disagree. I think the Osvin would have been a bloody good choice, especially when it would have come out. You know, it's just slightly... It's crucially less fuel than the Panzer IV. And it just gives it that better timing at times. And
it feels riskier, but at the same time, if he holds all these Dishkas, these conscripts are bait, his packs are that much safer as a result. So it's not just, oh, I can't really do anything against the tank, because he can compete with the T-70.
Well, this is it now. So you've got the Katyusha now on this eastern side. MG is going to get annihilated. There's an overshot there. Catches them.
Grenadier gets blown up so hard his body goes flying into the air.
Nagano's basically treated his army like Laika, the dog the Russians took into space. You know, he's put himself on a Soyuz rocket and just blasted himself into the sky here. That's what's happened to a lot of his support weapons, at least. As Panzerwerfer opens up, and the Zis backs into a flag, but he's lucky there with the spread, it has to be said. Very lucky with the spread.
Again, just desperation kicking in for Nagano. I don't blame him, he needs to make something happen.
Sherman's back away, but the Zis and the conscripts hold the line. Good penetration there by the follow-up. Panther will be kept out of battle for a while.
And now he just creeps the Ziz with conscripts were right in vision and slowly keeps the tanks in check.
The enemy has 75 points remaining. You appear suited for command.
Easy dodge there for Izzy. Or an Izzy dodge, rather. Ha 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 ha. Susha's almost ready for a new salvo.
This must be a heartbreaker for Nagano. I can imagine what he's feeling right now, 18 VPs.
Just...
Taken the enemy down to 50 points.
I mean, I hate to be brutal, but just needs to I don't know. I don't want to say it because I don't want to sound biased. I've already sounded biased against Nagano a little bit too much in this cast, and I don't want my analysis to be too brutal of the man because at the end of the day, he is up against the world champion of the bloody game, for God's sake. But Isildur is that level above Sib right now. He's just a bit sharper than everybody, and unless you can really make him uncomfortable, like Seeking when he was playing clean in that grand final, as proven by referees. Seeking was able to do that in the last Master League tournaments. Just make him uncomfortable. Take him out of his element. You have to do something aside from standard Company Heroes plays. The Panzerwerfer, just about survives as Isildur's 2-0 up in this series.
I think he had the right idea. It was almost there, a bit of a cleaner execution, and he would have definitely had Isildur here.
Certainly would. Let's roll over to our faces and then we'll bring up the game stats.
Even for Nagano.
Just ask Sib if he's feeling alright. He says he's grieving for Nagano. And
I'm grieving.
is that because he's an ethnic countryman? You have some Russian in you, don't you? I thought. Or am I thinking of an Ivan?
No, I have 100% Russian in me, so he
Oh,
is
there you
technically a fellow countryman, yes.
There
So,
you go.
without being biased, I just want to see the Ostwin again. And Isildur, he didn't even give us repairing conscripts, for crying out loud, guys. Come
What
on.
are you doing? He
What
doesn't
are
know
you
how to
doing?
play the game. L2P, sissy, for God's sake. Alpern says we're looking good. Indeed, we are. I think so. Thank you, Mr. Pern.
Thank you.
Guys, obviously, if you don't know, Siberian came back into streaming and obviously casting recently, but if you don't know his channel, just go check it out. He's one of the best Twitch personalities, and he's already proven himself an excellent caster today. Just getting his bloody thing up here. So go and give him some follow love, or if you got some Twitch primes, go send him some subs or whatever. He wouldn't ever ask for it. He's too modest, but I'll do it on his behalf.
Thank you.
Lads, we just saw an epic comeback. We now have Nagano 2-0 down. The players kind of have a break after game 2, usually in a best of 5. So we'll see where they're at. Yeah.
Did you finish that sentence?
No, sorry, I've read something. I can't multitask, guys. I'm just reading this. It's a new rule, by the way. We're going back to how it used to work in GCS 1. Basically, the coin toss loser decides, and Nagano has chosen. Do you know what map we're on next, Sib? Have we got the brackets anywhere? Let's go have a check.
I want to say it's Mill Road, based on what I've been seeing.
USF City. Let's have a go and have a little look. Yeah, GB Pirate's got his little name on it. Let's go and... I need to expand. You tidied up for us in the background after our brief attempt to get your green screen working. Expand the
You may expand me sideways.
Oh, gosh. Hope my fiance doesn't hear that.
Don't take that out of context.
Oh, Jesus Christ. There we go. So Sib's now been thoroughly expanded.
Thank
Let's go check out this here, which should be... Yep, that's the brackets. There it is. It's indeed Mill Road, and then possibly Nexus for a decider, because that's like a mirror. We've got live updating on the scores elsewhere as well. Asher's 1-0 up against Love Nest. I was not expecting that. Fair play.
Interesting.
I suppose we'll do some live updating of our own score, shall we? Why don't we get in the mood? Why not? Live life on the edge. We've got Isildur 2-0 up. And as you may have seen in that preview video, the Master League's the maths, which I did make it on my own originally, but then so many people gave me so much great feedback on whether it was working or not, and it was really tuned over the last year. Let me get the actual Master League up. The guys that signed up, basically, the top 6 are now the bloody remaining 6, Sib. So there's no spoilers anymore in Company Heroes. We're not. Do you remember the old seeding? Were you ever invited to like seed one of Amipulet Cyphunk's tournaments? Do you remember how that was done? It's just
Yeah.
like 5 guys just gave their opinions. Yeah, he's pretty good. I only know 5 players. So. That's how I used to do it as well. But now we actually have maths involved, which is just crazy, and it's really giving consistency. The only problem is, Sib, is I think it kind of locks the door a little bit because you have the same guys given opportunities to play, given better seeds, given a little bit easier passage through tournaments. It could really stop some of these like Orange Pests, Quiritzes, new players like Helping Hands. It'll really stop them forging their way into that top 10 zone, perhaps. Maybe we need to offer some more opportunities for the little guys.
Yeah, I was gonna mention something because once you've established a few Master League points, you're almost guaranteed. Whereas if you're still kind of fetching your first couple just to get seeded and entered into the tournaments, it can be quite daunting. More often than not, you'll get seeded poorly, and then you'd end up going round 1 against Isildo and Nagano.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely works, and it definitely is doing what it's meant to, but it's not perfect. And there is that element of like, if you're seed 16, you have to go up against seed 1 in the second round, for God's sake. So you've worked your arse off just to get into the zone, and then you have to basically to be the best, you have to beat the best, but you have to do it very early on in the tournament, maybe a best of 3 or. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, the good thing is, though, the decay is working. Loveness used to be number 1, and he's now number 7. So it's not like you can just rest on your laurels forever. He used to have like 46 points at one point. Now he's down to 7.8. Just through inactivity, really, and not being as good as he used to be, quite frankly. Sorry, Loveness, if you can hear me. But he was dominant after that 2 World Championships ago, and he just used that to get ML1 in his bag. And since then, he has struggled a little bit. Look, there's his history, by the way. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 6, 5, 6, 7. Whereas Silda did the opposite, Sim. He did break into it. He went 9, 10, 5, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, etc. So, yeah, it's not looking too shabby. And also, guys, if you've not noticed, Jibber Jabber Job's done proper stats for this tournament. It's ridiculous. We've got better stats than actual bloody esports tournaments. You know, it may be in Google Sheets, we may be amateurs, but we're doing a better job of it than some proper like MOBAs and shooter games and all sorts. So yes, it's pretty cool.
And look at that, a 72% austere, 58 Soviet. Christ.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of people have chosen austere and Soviets. OKW gone missing. We are entering Mill Road though, which is famously as a USF map. It's really good. I'm looking hot in the tux. I can cool down my face. My bow tie is an absolute abomination, by the way. I snapped it trying to prepare, so I'm so glad my microphone covers it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you might want to move your microphone. I want to see that beauty.
Oh dear. It's an abomination. If I put my finger on it, I'll look all right, but I have to, it's tied in a knot brutally behind it. So, Sib, I'm gonna if for future tournaments, mate, when you sit up, I'm gonna have to get a proper tux fitted. I feel I can't let the side down like this.
I'll just dress down. I'm
no. We should be elevating the game, mate. We're not doing a good enough job at the moment. And people have said when I cast with Ed, I have to wear an array of hats now as well. So it depends on who I'm casting with. Apparently, I'm gonna have to expand my wardrobe a little bit.
Yeah, I've got some hats as well. It's a bit hot for hats, but we can do that.
All right then, guys. I'm just going to check on the delay on this next game. I think I'll load it out there. We've got 3 minutes till it starts. Sib and I will have a quick break. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello there and welcome to Game 3 of the upper bracket final. You're looking at Nagano, who's down on his luck. He's going to play with pluck like he doesn't give a monkeys on Mill Road. Who's he up against, Sib?
None other than a world champion from Great Britain. Isilda, match point here, going tier 1. No commander picks with a standard MG opener.
No, he just has some juicy doctrines available to him. This is Mill Road, so although it is the same faction as Resident Sleeper, it actually is going to have a different dynamic as always. Mill Road equals good games, and it's a tournament staple as of 2020 onwards for a good reason.
Absolutely, and something I just noticed, Nagano went for a second engineer off the bat, even before the conscript, so I think there's something I would need to analyze personally myself here, because this is something that I keep seeing more and more, and the reason I think this is happening is because it gives you that early map control, and it kind of gives you that hyper aggression against the initial MG if you can predict where it's going to be.
It's interesting to me that we didn't see USF from these, from Nagano. He has brought them out in tournaments before, and Mill Road has seen more USF games than Soviet games this tournament. But no, just standard Soviet play. We don't need to say why. We've just got early game capping so far. The Grenadiers are going to have the first bullets fired. No, combat engineers see them, back away.
Now for this map, I completely understand Lightning. A G43s here with the amount of shot blockers on the map make complete sense. You want that mobility just in case of ambushes, in case of punishes on the retreat path. So here it makes sense on crossroads.
Was that you that went bubble?
Maybe. I tend to not usually do.
What was that sound effect? I don't even know where that came from. There's a boobaloo. R2D2's in the house, apparently. Anyway, MG42 sets up in the garrison. We got
Nagano calling in his secret weapon. R2, get in there.
As soon as you realise in the original Star Wars trilogy that they just use R2D2 to cover up all of George Lucas's terrible direction and put reducing and all sorts. So every time there's an awkward scene, they just use R2D2. And they use the same scene every time. It's just them going... It's in the film about 17 times. And we need it sometimes, Sid, when we have a dull moment in casting, perhaps. We just need a random R2 just to help us.
Just to beat boop.
Indeed. MG pushes up through the southern flank here. Grenadiers behind the market stall versus conscripts cowering behind the haystack, or battling bravely, depending on if you're a communist or a Nazi, I suppose.
It's a pretty standard build order, but this is a tried and tested and proven track record for this particular build of the Free Grenadier and MG. Provided you play this well on your positioning on point, which is what you'd expect from none other than the world champ, you should be good to go.
There we go. I've put Do Not Disturb on my Steam because I've apparently been told that it is indeed a Steam call. Sorry, guys. I'd wish we had a droid, but we don't. Anyway, we've got combat engineers pushing in double style in the north here, going all the way for the cutoff. Who's there to defend them? We do have an MG setting up, though. That's really good game sense from Isilda. He was defending against this conscript, but it's going to work equally well against this combat engineer.
But Nagano is going to force the MG's attention onto the cutoff. That might open the window for the conscripts. There are grenadiers. Nice flank from the rear. And good dodge of the rifleman.
Again, Nagano's on form now. We're seeing some more dodging and a little bit more quickness of reaction. That's what he needs to do if he wants to claim a foothold in this series.
He is most definitely all over Isilda for the time being. If he can keep the pressure up, he's in good shape.
He has neutralised the fuel now, so it doesn't matter if he didn't get the cutoff. Grenza close at hand to take it back, however.
Worth noting, we do have the grenade package and healing available for Nagano.
Look at that quickness there. The MG was about to unpack. Isildur gets on the attack move immediately and repacks it. Conscripts know that they can't push anymore. They're just going to wait and keep the MG busy. Let's go to tap maps, Sib, and just to survey the scenario.
It is looking like Isildur is playing a little bit on the defensive until he can get a few more units, probably the 222.
Yeah, it's a great. That's always good to have a scout car with the vision it provides, which is particularly good on Mill Road. Just gives you better surveillance of these angles here around the center.
And this is where those G43s are going to come in really handy. Look how much trouble the MG is having. It's constantly trying to find an angle, but Nagano playing extremely smart, using his shot blockers to his advantage.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of it. There's a Molotov as well, so the 222 knows it's going to have to be careful on its first assault. Gren's retreat through it, but conscripts are pushed away by the MP40s.
2 is on the field. Nagano once again finding these angles at the MG, always forcing Isildur to reposition.
He is indeed. He's gotten behind some light cover there as well. Gren's are trying to protect, but the 222 is going to go around the sides, perhaps. No, he can't because the 18-8 threatens him. So the conscript's going to back away with a good amount of health. Using that opportunity, the 222 pursues.
And I would imagine Isildur's probably assuming that Nagano has grenade tech and will just try to kite the conscripts here.
Oh, okay. So we had somebody blocked in there. Was it the conscripts blocked into the sandbags? Did you see that, Sib? Chat are going all on about it at the moment.
No, I actually didn't see.
Okay, people think they saw it anyway. Molotov was an easy dodge. They didn't even get in the garrison.
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
the 222 dropped down the bridge. I've never seen that before. There you go. You're locked in, Nagano. You're not going anywhere. There's no escape from Isildur. No reinforcements are possible. It's now an arena grudge match.
That was exciting.
That was cool. What the hell happened? Ricky Rifle's editing the map as we speak. He's in the Matrix.
R2D2 making its way across the bridge in the form of a Goliath.
Mate, if we had a Star Wars full conversion and an R2D2 Goliath,
Oh, I'd love that.
I would just make my life. I don't know why R2D2 would become a suicide attack robot, but yeah. The kids would love it, wouldn't they? Look, mummy, I'm a suicide attack robot.
Extremely cruel.
Sorry, I'd love that if that was just a random scene of Star Wars. Hans there packing R2 with C4 explosive. Or never mind. Anyway, Sib, have you had an alcoholic beverage of choice quite yet? I'm saving it for the second series myself. We're very professional casters. Good man, good man.
I have not. I have not.
Adrenaline will carry us.
G43s are making their way onto the field. We can see Isildur is fighting back. He's already captured about 60% of the map very rapidly with the help of the 222.
T70 on the field. Just a bit of a stalemate elsewhere. We do have some good aggression shown by Isildur, and a cheeky telemine's coming down. Can't build it in time for the... Oh, can he? Look how quickly it's building. Will the T70 see it? Oh, that's so close. It's a Minesweeper Pioneer, though, and it's often that does kind of make you think about mines a little bit.
Uh-oh. He's going for it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Masterclass in telemine planting.
That was wonderful. Well, it's looking likely to be verging towards a 3-0 for Isildur. I briefly worked for a soulless betting company 8 years ago, and the markets would be ceased at this point. They'd be halted. There'd be no in-play betting right now, as all bets would be off, because Isildur's now just climbed into the lead, and he's already 2-0 up. Nagano's going to have to play it out of his skin. This guy's been at the top of our competitive scene for nearly a decade, Nagano, or very long, well, since 2015 for certain, so 6 years and counting. He's been at the very top, so he's had so many games where he wrestles from from the floor and
Access to additional backup
climbs back up again. So let's see if you can do the same today.
Yeah, I don't want to count Nagano out just yet. All credit where credit is due. He is fully capable. It's just we do have to be realistic, and that is a huge setback, losing that T70 like that.
Nagano's dropping fuel though. He's trying to make up for it. Trading munitions for his losses though, so that'll give him a cheeky. Well, how much fuel is that? Is it 15 a pop? Something like 45, I want to say. Something like that.
I think it's in a 30 to 40 range.
Oh, really? Per go?
No,
Or in total?
in total. In total.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. T70's on its way. He's vulnerable now, though. He's going to be vulnerable soon. And we have a mortar coming out. So Zilda, of course, seeing possibly players like Loveness building mortars again. Now seeing a little bit more mortars in high-level play. But I have to say, Mill Road's a great map for it due to these hedgerows here. You can, plonk it down behind, and it'll just do work for you.
That makes sense. He's got the G43s to protect the flanks, so let the mortar do its thing.
There's a nice rifle nade. Very low now, that conscript. G43 Grens were forced off, though.
So, Nagano did double down on the T70. I'm okay with this, honestly. If he waits any longer, he'll be completely off the map. Unfortunately, Isilda is about to build tier 3 as soon as he gets some pioneers over there.
Soviet mines have been spotted as well, so Nagano's munitions are heavily kind of unutilized at the moment. He did elect for the 100 muni. Oh, there's another rifle nade. He did elect, of course, for the fuel drop, and now he's had 2 mines swept as well. So there's another loss for him, unfortunately. Oh, nice.
The T70 actually hit the mine, did you see that?
I did, yeah. Dodged it with the Grens, but still got caught up thanks to the T70.
Only Isilda can run a squad through a minefield and let the T70 detonate its own mine without taking any casualties.
He's on another level right now, even in terms of RNG. It seems we do have a Zis, thankfully, for Nagano. We all knew that was the hole in his game with the Panzer IV coming, so he is looking to plug that hole right now. Right now, he's a sinking ship. And he needs to not only plug the hole, Sib, he needs to start bailing out and get all that water out there so he can be battle ready again. Because it's a stormy sea right now, and that stormy sea's name is Isilda. Oh, there's the Pack 40. T70's being tracked. Grens have got him in the sights. Gets him from afar.
Oh, almost. Tedeshka is here, however, your favorite unit.
Fake. Yes, it is indeed my favorite unit. I have a Dushka t-shirt and Dushka collectibles, a Dushka waifu pillow, etc. I have a Dushka bobblehead in my car. Let's go over to the stat screen.
How does that work? Is it just a gunner bobbling its head?
Well, I drive a 1982 Lauda, and the Dushka is just mounted on the top, actually.
Okay, so it's not really a bobblehead, it's more of a weapon.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay, how do you think Nagano can slowly start pushing forward here?
Well, yeah, needs to get I don't know, one more Zis, one more Dushka, possibly.
The classic. Double down.
Double down, indeed. Just like one of those burgers from America with double bacon and cheese. It was a double down burger, basically. I think it was wrapped in bacon or something, and he just needs to hope Isilda has a coronary heart attack whilst at his computer, basically. That's all he can do. Just continue the game for as long as he can and hope Isilda chokes. Not literally, more figuratively in terms of gameplay. But still, he's got to try and force an error from the Brit. And right now, he's looked impervious to errors. He's looked impeccable in his playstyle.
His metal will certainly be tested in a few moments once this Panzer IV arrives onto the field. Again, the T70 only on a 1 kill. It's been a disappointing performance.
got the equivalent of light tank erectile dysfunction right now. He's just not performing out there. He gets a cheeky kill just so we say. He's heard us say his name, but so has the Panzer IV here to wreak havoc yet again. A Panzer IV per game as the Dushka's found out by the 222 and the Grens coming in from the sides.
If this Ziz drops, that's it.
Could do
Panzer
as well.
IV isn't quite ready, but he's gonna have to merge with this Dushka. I don't see how he's gonna contain this Panzer IV.
He's got no choice. T-70 to the rescue though. Gren's low. However, the well helps him.
Fortunate misses here.
Very unfortunate. Not a single hit from the Zisk gun. Gren's pushing the victory point in the north. Going to turn this into a triple cap scenario.
Second Ziz. I'm just worried about this G43 Grens. All it takes is one MG to hold the back while the Grens flank the Ziz and the Panzer IV comes rolling in.
There's finally a Ziz shot and penetration. He's got the T-70 repaired and ready to go. We've got a second Dushka on the field and a second Ziz coming. So Nagano heard us loud and clear. It was the obvious choice. We're not exactly, you know, psychic mediums here. Nagano's notorious for his Soviet support weapon play, turning a game into a grind. He's the best at it.
I would have liked to have seen a bit more variety in factions, and certainly commanders at the very least. Because it's been the same, no matter the player.
Yeah, different play styles can create different scenarios, and the vetoes in this tournament, they were per tournament, I suppose, so we could have had a little bit of variability if we had it per match, for certain. Also, the Commander Terminator, which was an incredible concept from last year. Trying to keep things fresh, keep the players thinking of different scenarios. And right now we've got some of the commanders that we haven't seen for a while, but in terms of this tournament in particular, we've seen them a lot of the time in these games with the Nagano and Silda, etc. We have to see what Devem and Kimbo are up to in the lower bracket. They offer a very different style of players, playing with a lot of M5s. I saw Kimbo in ladder. He had this M5 Sib with guards with the PPSHs and a flamethrower within 7 minutes. It was, like, ridiculous. The clown car of death, yeah.
So Silda opted to go for tier 4. Once again, just getting the Panzer IV to control the mid-game. No hyper-aggression again, no flanking from either side. I guess he doesn't want to risk it in case of the double Ziz and mines, but saying that, just imagine what sort of damage the double...
Look at that for damage there! We saw
Yeah.
a Grenadier go down to the T-70, climb into his 5th kill now, and that's a big squad. We've also had the Panzer IV come into the south, however, for the Zisk. He's trying to destroy the weapon. Combat engineers take it, do they? Yes! With a nice retreat as well. He's going to keep the pressure on second Zisk to the rescue, however, and he can't keep the forwardmost Zisk crewed.
That is some clutch Dishka placement. It almost worked. He did manage to decrew the MG, and he will steal it.
Also, Ziz has gone in. We've got an 18A threatening, but the Pack 40 was in position. He can't finish it off, but as Sib mentions, he did steal the MG42.
Almost a good hold.
Who won that, Sib? Simple question. What the hell's going on?
200 points remaining.
I think Isilda tried to prematurely end the game and almost didn't succeed.
Tell you what, 3 MGs now might create an impenetrable fortress for Isilda to break. He certainly could be rocking out the Panzerwerfer again, which has been very potent in this series thus far, if this continues.
Yeah, it's a shame the T-70 went down. Had he kept that alive, I think Isilda could have been in a little bit of trouble, because that push just wasn't quite there. He kind of just charged right at the Ziz.
seconds. This has been recruited, so Nagano's got his material back safe for the T70. Let's have a look at the graphs now. The results should be in on the graphs. They take a while. You can see that Isildur, he was barely hurt by that. His population stayed the same. I don't even know that's possible. Points held, though. He's lost a few points, however. Oh, what a shot there by the recruits, this. Molotov in. G43 Grenadiers reposition. This is trying to find an angle on the 2-2-2. And oh, no.
Yeah, I saw as soon as he started marching towards the G43 Grand, you just can't take engagements like that at such range.
He's got another squad as well in the west there, Sib. He might be at a bit of morale issues at the moment, mate.
R2D2, where are you when we need you? This Panzer IV is just uncontested.
The support Mill Road is not the best map for support weapons. It's got loads of slight blockers, and it's so difficult to set up and maintain critical mass of support. And in this case, Isildur's picking him apart. Nagano sees the writing on the wall. Isildur wins the upper bracket final, straight into the grand final. GG, well played.
Played.
And we're back live. There we go. So 3-0 for the mighty one who sits on a perch right now over the competitive scene. Who can take him down, Sib?
I think R2D2, that's the only one I can think of right now, or maybe the Orbital Deshka, because right now Isildur is just, like you rightfully said, he's the phoenix that hasn't been downed. We need someone to douse his flames because he seems to be unstoppable for the time being.
Listening to Tyson Fury, the boxer, was doing interviews. He's such a madman. He says such ridiculous things. He said, "The only person that can beat the Gypsy King is me, Tyson Fury." And he's on about like psychological mental health, like basically saying, so we have to wait Isildur to have a mental breakdown. Apparently, that's all I'm getting from this.
It's possible.
Anyway, there we go. Now, guys, I'm going to go check in with the players. We're going to go change series over to, of course, let's say GG well played to these guys. See you in 2 weeks, is he? And you next Saturday. Nagano. Gotta put that on. That's quite funny. Let's just show that on the screen, shall we?
God damn it.
It said see you next thingy, and he puts in the little thing there. Docks my desktop, shall I? There we go. But GG well played all round. And Nagano with a turd. It's a beautiful turd though. Well played, Nagano. Well played, Izzy. Let us go to the land of the brackets as we eagerly anticipate who may or may not have won in the other series, Sib. Let's go have a look, mate.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, let's have a check. Not quite there yet. Here we go, bracket screen. Whoa, here we go. We've got a... Let me just message my friend. Hang on a second. If you're watching this, GB Pirate, could you move your cell selection for me, mate? It's very large. It's very big. Anyway, let's bring it up on screen. We have Kimbo into the lower bracket final one, and we currently have Asher versus Love Nest, who are equal. Grey Shot should be cast in that. So Sib, I might do something. Maybe we could raid Grey Shot and then he could raid us back. Would that work? Or do we, I have Partner these days.
I'm okay with that.
Let's keep this chat going. Let's just... Yeah, let's raid... No, because then I'll have to stop my stream. I'll just keep everything as it is, but we'll go watch Greyshot's stream for a little bit as Asher versus Lovenest is happening. And then you guys know we're going to have a bit of a break, half an hour, and then Kimbo versus the winner of that series, which will happen today in a best of 3. So, GG, well played, everyone. Thanks, Sib, for some awesome casting so far, and to the players that we've seen. Let's go check out Greyshot's stream for a little bit and see who's going to win this series. Thanks, guys.